Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
And welcome back, everybody. Going to talk about your attention today and where you put your attention and focus. And most importantly, does that truly support you? Are you putting your efforts in a direction or in someone that it shouldn't go in that direction? How do you identify that? What's actually going on there? We're going to dig into that. She is an intuitive psychic medium. She's also a therapist, which holds a lot of weight for me in terms of getting in our heads. And that's where this topic came from today. That's not me. I would never think of something this deep, trust me. And that's why I love her. Noelle Deane joins us once again. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Better now that we're about to have one of our conversations and to get really focused on, really looking at things at that deeper level, trying to find this like ever evolving way to be in the flow of our own lives, and feeling actually emotion come in even just saying that and getting confirmation chills. So we have visitors here with us. They may or may not say anything, but I'm feeling them at this moment. And that always feels so validating to me when I feel people come through, because it just feels like we're on the right track. And it's easy to feel off track. I feel that often. And so this question that came to me, I don't know, a few months ago, I was setting intentions. I'm in an intention group. And what came to me was this question: what beckons your love and attention?
Even before we get there, I want to share,
Please,
that seconds before we jumped on here, you said you need a moment. Maybe it's a reflection, meditation, regrouping. I've never done that before a podcast. And I know that even a lot of sports teams do a huddle, and maybe they just might have a moment, and then it's a high five, let's go. That was wonderful. There was something magical, like where I was just kicking back. I was like, you were just kind of doing your thing. I was quiet, just thinking, reflecting. It was just a reminder that we don't do that enough. And especially if you're going to do something, whatever it might be, it doesn't matter. You're meeting at work or whatever. Just take a moment to yourself and just kind of regroup. I guess that's the best word I have. What were you doing in that moment? How would you describe it?
well, when I get ready to do anything where I really just want to make sure I'm in the flow, I send kind of like it looks like a tube or a column of energy down through my body, down into the earth, to the center of the earth. And then I ask for a visual of how I should open my chakras. So those are the energy centers. I know there's a lot more, but I really just focus on the 7 in our body. So they start in our root areas, like the base of our spine, up to our crown, so the top of our head. And we all resonate with different things. I used to be like, chakras, whatever. But I do notice that is how I open up. And so I hadn't finished doing that yet. And it really makes a big difference. I really feel like I'm flowing, part of the flow, but flowing after I do it. So.
Well, thank you for that. It was a reminder. Sort of my life path is spending more of that time in just reflection, quiet time, but I enjoy it. Like, even if it's just for 15 seconds, I don't even know if I'm officially meditating, but I can find myself just that's it. And thank you for the visualization of the light coming down through you and activating or identifying chakras that need to be open. Never thought of that. So I'm going to do that visual next time. Take a moment.
Yeah. I had a new friend of mine, a very spiritual woman, asked me the other day how I meditate. And I was kind of embarrassed and I didn't say anything, but I don't see myself as somebody who meditates, because that means so many different things. And I don't know what people mean by that. I mean, she meant it in a general sense, of course, but I agree. And I think, the idea of remembering to do all these beautiful little self-care things, like you're right, 15 seconds 1 minute and I can be grounded and open and feel completely different than how I felt the moment before. But it's easy
Mm.
to get caught up in busyness. I think our culture is so based on that. And it feels like it's implied there's something wrong if you don't base yourself on being busy. Don't you think?
Say that last part again. Don't.
If you don't base your life on being busy or productive, unless maybe you're a retired person, do you,
Hmm.
I don't know. I feel like there's a compulsion for a lot of us to just be busy. Like
Well,
there's something admirable about it, like that.
yes, yes, and many of us carry it like a badge of courage. Like, I'm
Mm.
busy. I have so much to do. Many of us do that because we're running away from something, whatever it might be.
Yes.
Ourselves, it could
Hmm.
be where you don't want to confront, or maybe we're afraid to be alone. Um, and I'll share with you, and we'll get deeper into what beckons your love and support and attention. Um, but I think this is all in the wheelhouse. So I shared with you, came down with this like weird virus, I had a fever. It's been decades. I can't even tell you the last time I had a fever. I mean,
Yeah.
it took me like, 20 minutes to find a thermometer. like, um, and it was at the advice of somebody else. And you might want to take your temperature. Um, I got laryngitis, and I almost feel like 3 weeks of October didn't exist for me, but they did. But I believe that was the universe's way of saying, Steve,
Mm.
tap the brakes. You need to stop. You need to ground yourself. Because what did I do? I went kayaking because you didn't need to talk. And uh, paddled to an island and put my feet up and just, took in nature and just, looked at everything, took a nap, with the water lapping my kayak. And it was great. Um, I've been wanting to do that all summer and never did because I was too busy. So
Gotcha.
it's like the universe was saying, you need to do this. And I feel even more relaxed now since doing it. Like I don't feel like I'm on the treadmill, blah, 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 blah. I kind of tapped it. And this is going to be embarrassing for me to say, I watch TV. I never watch TV.
Hmm.
And I have a new appreciation for just sitting in bed because I changed things around, hooked up, got tons of channels, whatever. And I'm like, wow, all right, this is cool. Wow, this is cool. I never do it. And so many of my friends are like, hey, how'd you miss that? I'm like, well, I don't watch TV. Um, but it was the alone time. The reason I even brought that up was that beckoned me. So I took my love and attention away from others and put it on myself, which was, I think, critically important to do. Doesn't mean I don't care about people or anything like that, but I've fine-tuned what I'm giving out. And now when I'm in a situation that I feel doesn't support me, I want to run out the door. If it's with somebody that just doesn't align with me or, whatever it might be, it's just like, no, this is just unfair. Why am I here? Why am I doing this? Why am I, whereby, oh, I'll just suck it up. I'm not doing that anymore. It's like I'm being more selective because when you're engaged with anybody, you're giving them half of you at that moment. And is it worth it? Should you be beckoned to do that? What do you feel?
I love that you brought that up. I have noticed, so I've been in the throes of doing lots of yard work. I'm in San Diego. We had a really hot summer, as did everybody else. And I waited until it cooled off before I started working on my yard. And I noticed that it beckoned my love and attention, which was great because my yard seemed very neglected and I couldn't really focus on anything else. So that was really helpful. And then as I'm kind of, I don't know, thinking, not thinking, listening to music, not listening to music, it gives me time to just kind of reflect a bit. And one of the things I noticed is my tolerance to connect with other people in some ways went to crap. Like I talked to a friend that I really love, I can think of like 4 people that I talk to that I really love and feel connected with and try to be supportive to. And I just wanted to scream and get off the phone at times.
Mm,
And I didn't, especially the first phone call that I had, and it was a few weeks ago. I had to really reflect. And one of the helpful things about being a therapist is remembering those things I would coach other people with. Like, well, how long have you been feeling this way? When did it start? What was that first like moment that you noticed you felt that way? And I had a conversation with somebody that I really love who started venting and kept going, and I was not in a space for that. And maybe my emotional or energetic boundaries are just lower these days because I've
mm.
not been ground. I've just been doing yard work and connecting with the earth and the
Well,
plants.
well,
And
that's very grounding right there.
it is, but it was interesting how I felt like my butt got kicked from this phone call that after X amount of time, I just wanted to scream and get off the phone. And I made myself stay, and I really regretted that. And since then, I've been sitting with how much harder it feels to stay connecting with people. And I love how you said that about you're giving half of what you've got to that other person, maybe even more. And is it right to give your love and attention to this person right now?
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, yeah.
you
Like I,
have to weigh that out and how you're feeling. I'm noticing, feeling a bit more depleted at times. I set an alarm on my phone. I might have to go on do not disturb from like 8:30 in the morning until I don't know, sometime in the afternoon to not even have to deal with getting phone calls that I'm not feeling prepared to take. Because if people want to vent to me, and I'm having to tell friends like, hey, I'm sorry, this sounds ridiculous, but apparently I can't set those energetic boundaries right now. So please don't vent to me about this or talk to me about that because I kind of can't deal with it very well.
I'm glad you said that because it's probably something that many of us go through, but we don't realize what's actually happening, where
Mm-hmm.
we feel drained and depleted. And,
Yeah.
oh, maybe I'm just coming down with something, whatever excuse you give, but maybe you should consider that that person is taking your energy or you're giving your energy to them. It's funny because when I had laryngitis, the concert came up and I invited somebody to go, but my gut was telling me, dude, just go by yourself. It's kind of a bucket list concert.
Oh.
And I had free tickets. I'm like, well, hey, why don't you come along? What the heck? I'm gonna be honest, and I should have went alone. It was,
Mm.
just work. And I even said, I can't really talk. I just want to just watch the show. I don't, I'm not going to be drinking a lot of beer or anything like that. I'm just going to be chilling and want to see the show. It didn't go that way. And I actually left early. I left early because I was
Um,
honestly frustrated. Like I just wanted to, should have listened to my gut. But the point is we give to others no matter what. So back to the topic, what beckons your love and attention? Where should you give it? It's
yeah.
my belief after realizing these things that you should be selective in where you give it. Because guess what? You only have so much. And after a while, there's nothing left in the tank. And maybe that's why you were feeling what you were feeling, where you needed to put up a energetic boundary, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah. And we have seasons that we go through where we have maybe more to give or maybe need more alone time. um, and trying to listen to that. And even if we're not listening, our body is going to be giving us messages or signals like us getting sick. This might sound weird, but I had vertigo a few months ago for the first time, and it kicked my butt for a couple of weeks, especially that first week. I just really couldn't do anything. And for some reason, I had vertigo on my mind like the last 2 weeks. And I kept thinking, please no. When I had vertigo, I was like, vertigo, go, 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 please go away. I don't need you anymore. Thank you. And I just felt really aware of vertigo and trying to manifest not getting that, not needing that, and
Mm.
sitting with, well, what should I be doing? That it's even coming up like maybe if I got sick, I would have a break from X and then I would focus on M and then that would help me move forward. I mean, we're ever evolving, or at least I think that's the goal, and
Yep.
ever changing. So what we need today might be very different than what we want and need, let's say over the holidays. maybe you're really social right now in your life, and then the holidays come and I don't know, grief could be happening or other things happening, and it's a very triggering time for people. It might be a good time to hibernate a bit for some.
Yes. And maybe you're just not feeling it. And that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. When somebody says, you know what, I'm going to do this quietly. Um, okay. We judge people. Oh, look at really, you're being unsociable. Come out and hang out with us. So, what do you mean you don't want to come to that family function? Right? Really? Maybe there's a reason. Maybe you're energetically not feeling it. Maybe there's, grief involved, whatever.
Yeah.
I look at things differently now,
Hmm.
where we have obligations, and I get that. But at the same time, you have one of the most important obligations to yourself. And a lot of times we don't realize that to make
And
others
if you don't,
happy.
yeah, and if you're not really taking care of yourself, like
Hmm.
truly, in a way that your body is trying to tell you, or your mind or your energy is trying to tell you, then you're compromising yourself. And then we may think we're here supporting other people. I don't want to ditch my friend. I don't want to, do that kind of thing that would hurt somebody else. But if we're not taking care of ourselves, it's easy to get resentful. It's easy to feel kind of bitter. It's easy to
True.
show up and be in a foul mood because we haven't really addressed what's actually going on for us. So, and I hate the feeling of being fragile or delicate. So when I'm feeling more impacted by people's energy, it's really hard for me to want to say something to them. But the conversations that I have had with two of my close friends, they totally get it. I mean, people know us and they
Mm,
know when we're trying to take better care of ourselves that they're not trying to get something from us. They're like, well, please, thank you for telling me. And yeah, let's get off the phone. Yeah, maybe I'll talk to you later. Yeah, please, take time for yourself. I mean, we all want each other to do better, to do well. So maybe, I mean, your friends might just miss you and they're putting
sure.
pressure on you because they want to hang out and maybe you're the guy who makes it fun and you could be like, dude, seriously, not tonight. And just be done with it. Like have them understand that we mean it and not in anything that has to do with them, but it's just what we need right now. And I can feel my energy is low for whatever reason. It's just been interesting to not feel so drawn towards mediumship these days and focusing on my yard and other physical things in my environment. And I'm also feeling aware that I feel like part of why it's beckoning my love and attention is to teach me some things. Like I'm really good at not finishing projects. I'm super good at that. And so with my yard, it feels right now like it's an exercise in completion, dealing with the boredom of weeding or the tediousness of this or that I resist, and then I move on and do something else, and then I leave, you know, part of the yard looking
Mm.
not so nice.
And
And
then you feel defeated. I didn't finish it.
yeah,
Look at the way it looks. You want to go
yeah,
back there and say, ah, it looked wonderful.
yeah,
Um,
you feel like a loser that you didn't
yeah.
finish, you didn't follow through. And, it's nice to do something different for yourself when you're ready.
But I feel embrace that because you are connecting with nature, you are grounding.
Yeah,
And yes,
literally.
it's easy, to have the squirrel mentality where, all right, let me take this here, the weeds are over here, but no, wait, I could trim that over there. And then
Yeah.
absolutely. But I feel it's the universe's way of telling you now you need to focus on it. It's going to be winter soon, so it's going to be cooler. You have the opportunity to do
Yeah.
it. Hey, I'm thrilled. I had to take, a couple of week and a half off as of last week. Um, the weather was wonderful. Oh my
Mm.
gosh. I will never forget it. It was, I was hanging out with a cool dude, me. Uh, and it was fun. And it was, it's great. I'm throwing that kayak on my crappy Jeep and I'm gonna go and, gonna enjoy it. And it was one time my best friend was off uh at the same time as me. And we went down, we are gonna kayak together. We get to the beach. The current was actually very rough. It wasn't windy by our places, but it was, and we got sandwiches. I'm like, you know what? There's a table, chair. We're gonna sit here and just go to eat, forget about kayaking. And it was great. We were just like staring at the sun,
Mm.
like, yeah, this is good. This is good. What a day. What a day. You don't get a lot of those. You really don't when you think about it.
Yeah. But
Uh,
so nice to be in that flow of energy and what feels right now. Well, all right, well, we're at the beach. Maybe I was supposed to just come to the beach.
right.
Maybe it's not about kayaking, didn't sound conducive to kayaking.
Yeah,
And you had a wonderful time connecting with somebody you feel very connected to.
sure. Yeah. And we've never done that. I've known him since
Hmm.
I was a kid. We've never really done that. And side note, we're at the deli, uh, picking up sandwiches. So I go to another concert, love music, the other night with my friend, and the bartender there is like, "Weren't you guys at that deli?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "I was standing next to you." "Oh yeah, how you doing?" He goes, "And drinks are on me." Like just some
Oh,
random person. Just the name is Nick, and we were just like, "Hey, thank you very much." And it was just weird how things fall into place in your life. I
yeah.
want to we talk about music a lot here. And you said before we got together you have a song to share for some reason.
Yeah, the song that as I was grounding to get ready to have our conversation, that song, it's called Tub Thumping,
Tub
but
thumping.
but it's really like I get knocked down, I
Yeah,
get
I
up
get
again.
yeah.
I can't think of the rest of the lyrics, but there's a nice rhythm to it and it's like a motivating song, but it's such a powerful message as well. And that felt like this is we have our
Hmm.
ebb and flow of the energy of our lives or the connection to ourselves even and the willingness to be more connected with other people or to give more of ourselves to life, to others, to our jobs, to our hobbies. And sometimes it doesn't work out the way you think it's going to. And there's always bouncing back. You get knocked down, you get up again,
Yeah.
and
And
whatever else they say about that.
that song is great. I remember um
Mm.
my son was 3. He was in a snowsuit in the snow, and the snow was very high, like up to his chest. And that he would take a step and fall over, get back up again, fall over. And I put that song to the video and put it on YouTube. And YouTube stripped the music away because it was copyrighted. But I'll never forget how it he got knocked down, he got up again. He got knocked down, he got up again. As he's trying to take one step over to the side. But life's going to be like that.
Yeah.
You can get up again.
Resilience.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
But, back to the beginning, you need to give of yourself, you know, so you have the strength to get back up again.
Yeah. And listen to what you're perceiving or picking up on that is maybe pointing you in a new direction. Because that could be part of it. It could be, hey, slow down. Now I'm now I'm getting, I don't, anyway, you move too fast, whatever song that is. But
Give me a little piece, I'll get it.
slow down, you move too fast, got to make the morning last. Simon and Garfunkel.
Feeling groovy, feeling
Feeling
groovy.
groovy. Yeah.
I think it's the 59th Street Bridge song or something like that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Um, hmm. uh, I believe you're 100% right that things happen because it's a refocus in a different direction. And I'm in the middle of a couple of business ideas, collaborations, and everything. I believe I was slowed down by being ill for a few days, week, whatever, um, because now I'm in a better place to focus on those things.
Oh, nice.
I just
Remembering,
feel it.
yeah, and the universe is doing things for us,
Right.
not to us or against us. Even if it feels like, wait, I feel crappy. What do you mean for me? How is this for me?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But it's long-term thinking, not short-term thinking.
Thank you for saying that. Yeah. A lot of times we jump into the victim mode. Like, what, how could you do this? Like, what, really? Come on, really? But if you were able to fast forward 6 months, a year, whatever it might be, or just fly above yourself and see the changes that took place because or
Yeah.
during something that happened in your life, there's invariably there's a reason. There's a
Yeah.
reason. And part of me wants to say there's probably a reason, but I don't even know if that's accurate. I don't know.
I
Or
believe there's always a reason. I don't believe in coincidence anymore.
me too.
Um, it doesn't make sense to me anymore.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
And I'll bet you there's a reason why you were outside and you were called to work on your yard,
Hmm.
whether that was you needed to get grounded, tapping the brakes, whatever it is, I don't know, but it's probably something there.
Oh, absolutely. And I believe moving things around, getting rid of clutter, it refreshes the energy
Mm,
of our lives. And I'm in my house most of the time. So this is the place that supports me. This is my foundation. So there are times I feel compelled to like clean up or reorganize things in my office. I cleanse my crystals, whatever I feel drawn to do to support my own energy. And having a yard that looks neglected is definitely a drag on energy. And my husband grew up on a farm. He loves having nice gardens. And so me,
mm.
it's kind of my role to, because I have more time than he does to do this kind of thing. It's a drag on both of our energies to look at the yard and be like, which we've been
Well,
doing for about a year and a half.
I envy you because I sold a house 2 years ago, so I'm in between. Just not the right time to buy. The market is like crazy historically high. Interest rates are just not, it just doesn't make sense. But I renovated my backyard, and that was my passion.
Mm,
And there wouldn't be a weed. I would get them, and it was pretty big.
wow.
Um, and I know nothing about horticulture or anything. I figured it out, figured different things I can do, made it very tropical. Um,
Mm.
I didn't realize I was grounding myself when I was outside. All that time, it was a reason that I felt maybe even better. So now I have to find other ways to get that fix, if you will. But there's, I do miss it, but there's a part of me that says, don't worry, it's coming back.
Nice.
Don't worry about that. We're on a little break here. Um,
Yeah.
but I envy that, and miss it because there's something there. And I don't think a
Yeah.
lot of us realize what the earth does for us in terms of grounding and making us feel better.
Yeah, and supporting the plants that are around us that give us energy. And I want to say supporting the wildlife, but we have a lot of wildlife over here.
Oh
We
yeah?
have fruit trees, and so we get our fair share of rodents. I don't necessarily want to support their pooping. I don't mind sharing, but there's a line. Um,
You can eat here, but then take the rest out there.
please get
Yeah.
it to go and find a nest somewhere else.
So you need to use your telepathic animal communication skills and just send that signal to them. You're not welcome
I
here.
have tried. I'm going to actually start telepathically putting out there. I'm going to get an owl box. So don't get comfortable
Yeah.
because, or just go somewhere else. I tried that with the gophers. It didn't really help. But anyway, I
Well,
have to keep working at it, but
all good. All good. Um,
all good.
this is just a piece of what you do. Aside from
Yeah.
readings, intuition, we looked at things in a different way today, energetically, and what's going on within our lives. How does somebody find you, Noelle?
My website is connectingwithnoelle.com. Noelle is spelled Noelle. You can reach out to me through email at connectingwithnoelle@gmail.com. And I would love to hear from you. I mean, the kind of stuff we talk about here, we talk about, kind of wrapping our brain around being more in the flow. But sometimes some of the stuff we talk about is the kind of things I would cover in like a channeled coaching or spiritual coaching session with somebody, helping them see what they're already doing from a spiritual perspective and how to do more of that kind of thing to help them be more in the flow, feel more fulfilled and satisfied in life. So I do a variety of things, and I also teach mediumship. So,
Wonderful that you mentioned that your friends understand your energy. And sometimes you need a
mm,
break and all of that. And I look at it this way. We don't have a lot of those people around us. If you're feeling something and you want to identify it, you can be that person for somebody else by them going to your website. Like, seriously.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. I could talk to, 90% of my friends about what we're talking about, and I'll get
If you're listening, you missed Steve's eyebrow go up and his eye contact,
like,
like, what are you talking about, man?
yeah,
Yeah.
who are you? And there's a few friends that get it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot going on around us. Always great talking with you, really is.
Yeah. Thanks. You too. And I
Um,
so appreciate that sort of not wandering soul, but like the seeker that you are. The seeker in me appreciates that about you.
well,
Looking, always trying to refine. Yeah.
we're all a work in progress, and I've learned so much from you, even, just getting together and these viewpoints, and even today. what we're talking about is what I've been thinking about in terms of where that love and attention goes, and should it go there? And should it go there? Ultimately, a lot of us are afraid to give it to ourselves. We feel guilty. We feel like we have an ego, but that's where it starts. For the better of everyone, it really was comes down.
If you don't fill up your own gas tank, you're running on empty. You can't support anybody else. Not really. So it is unselfish, but we are trained to believe of it as it's being selfish because you're focusing on you, but it's really genuinely isn't.
I think it's a society thing. I think in other countries they're all good with it, but that's for another podcast.
There you go.
Thanks. We'll talk next time. Okay.
Okay. Take care, everybody.
We'll be right back.
Steve.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.